Hello YouTube! Chef Jess back in the kitchen, and we're doing something special today. We're actually making our beautiful summer dessert, a mango mousse cake. So I'm really excited to share this video with you. It's one of the first videos that we're doing using one of our new products here, which is the Potato Protein Pro, which replaces egg whites. And we're also going to be using some other egg replacers as well. Hello, we've got some people watching live. So yeah guys, if you are watching live, shout out, give me a hello. We're here every Wednesday here at 10 o'clock GMT plus 2 times Spain time, bringing you some great vegan recipes for your cafe, restaurant or food service business. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this recipe I have already linked in the description box below. Oh, hi guys.
Tell them what Potato Protein Pro is.
Sorry?
Tell them what Potato Protein Pro is.
Yes, we're going to get into that shortly. So we are, as mentioned, using a couple of different egg replacers here. We're using our new product, Potato Protein Pro, which is a vegan egg white replacer, and Pastry, which is our whole egg replacer. Now I have linked the recipe in the description box below for our mango mousse cake today. And I wanted to bring you something which is nice and summery, a little bit light, and yeah, something you can enjoy during the summertime. So we're going to get started. So to begin with, we are going to start with making our cake layer. So there's a few different components to this recipe. We have not only the mango mousse, but we have a chocolate cake layer. And then we're also going to be making a crunchy sesame topping, okay? So let's get started. I'm going to bring you guys down and we can talk more about what's going in our cake, how we're doing it, and what all the functions are. So to begin with, you want to take a cake tin, just grease and line it and just dust it with some flour. Of course, we're doing the gluten-free option, so do make sure when you're lining your cake that you put the gluten-free flour in there. I know it's a mistake that we all make, but just make sure that you are putting the gluten-free flour when you're dusting as well. Alright, so to get started, I've just prepped everything here for you. Oh, hello, we've got some more people. Barbara. So for our cake, our gluten-free cake, we are using the egg replacer. We're just coming back live, guys. So we're using the Pastry, which is our vegan egg replacer. I've already prepared it just with some water here, and I've let it sit for about half an hour. Now, one of the great things about Pastry is it not only replaces the 8 functions of eggs, making your cakes have a better texture, flavor, and function, but it's also fantastic for gluten-free applications because of its binding and coagulation ability. So it's going to keep things nice and moist as well. So real advantage there. So I have that already prepared. Now we also have here all our dry ingredients, our salt, leavening agents, cocoa powder, and of course our gluten-free flour. Now I always get asked about gluten-free flour. What kind of gluten-free flour are you using, Jess? Well, I just use the really cheap, off-the-shelf supermarket gluten-free all-purpose flour, so you don't need to go out and buy specialty, organic, you know, all these different kinds of crazy flours that are expensive. Okay? And then we have, of course, our sugar. So we have some brown sugar, white sugar, and a little bit of salt. And for our wet ingredients, I have just some light vegetable oil, some vanilla, and some yogurt. So we're going to get sifting our flour. So I've just got my big bowl here. I'm just going to do this by hand. So you can do this in a mixer if you want to. But I'm just going to do this by hand. So I'm just going to sift all my flours and everything in here. Get any big lumps out. Along with our sugar. Hello! We've got some more people joining us live. Okay, I might bring you guys a little bit closer so you can see a bit better. Oh, there we go. That's better. Alright, so we're going to give a whisk all our dry ingredients here, guys. Okay. Now, next what we want to do is we're basically going to add all of our wet ingredients together. So, I like to take all my oil, yogurt, and vanilla. And what that yogurt's going to do, it's not only add flavor, but because of how it's acidic. It's going to activate our leavening agents as well. So it's going to make our cake nice and fluffy. And you probably, oh, we're just coming back. So as I was saying, one of the other functions of panis egg is emulsification. So what that means is it's bringing those two ingredients which are usually not mixable together. And as you can see quite easily, that oil and that water component of the yogurt has already emulsified just by mixing those two together. Okay, so all we got to do now is we want to combine these together. So how easy was that?
You have somebody special online?
Oh, who do I have on?
Karen Zickus.
Oh, my mom's watching. Hello. I should bring this up a bit more so you can kind of see me a bit. Oh, there we go. So I'm just mixing this until it's sort of wet. Yes, I haven't been home in a long time, so definitely getting a bit homesick, like I know a lot of people out there are. So as you can see, it's kind of just sort of like a wet mix right now. So next what we want to do, lots of coffee. I was like, Jess, why are you putting coffee in a chocolate cake? Well, the coffee, it's actually not going to make your chocolate cake taste like coffee. It's just going to bring out the chocolatey flavors. So I'm just going to add a little bit at a time. And what it also does is it's going to start melting the sugar in there as well. So just add a little bit at a time. One of the good things about gluten-free cakes is you don't need to worry about over-mixing because there's no gluten that you're working. So this is a great one to do with kids too. Alright, so we're just mixing this together. And like I said, you can do this on a mixer, but I think this is just less washing up. Okay, oh, it smells nice.
Yeah, macaron pro lady Christine Long.
Oh, hello Christine, how are you going? Christine is one of my students in New York. She has a macaron shop and she offers lots of different vegan macarons too. Alright, so this is, you just want to mix it basically until it's lovely. Okay, we're just reconnecting guys. So all we want to do is just pour this straight into our cake. So we don't need to do layers. I'm just doing it in one cake tin and then we're going to cut it in half. Okay.
Don't say that.
What's that?
Don't say that.
So we're just pouring that in. It's quite a liquid mix. So you can use an offset spatula to smooth it out. It depends. Sometimes I know that the gluten-free flour mixes can be a little bit thick. So if yours is a little bit thick, you might want to get your little offset spatula and just smooth that out. So I'm going to pop this into the oven for about 30 minutes. I do find the gluten-free one actually takes less time than the one with the wheat flour. So this one here, about 30 minutes. If you're doing this just the traditional, it takes about 40 to 45. So we're going to pop this in the oven, 30 minutes. All right. So we've got 30 minutes on our timer here. All right, guys. So next thing we are going to do is start making our mousse. And we're using a brand new product here at the Academy that we've just released called Potato Protein Pro. So what the difference is with the Potato Protein Pro is it's instant, so you can use it straight away, no need to hydrate, and it's going to be a lot more stable for you too. So we're actually going to be starting off with this mousse. It's lower cost too, yes, absolutely. So lower cost than eggs, it's easy to use, guys. So with this mousse, it's a few elements. So I've already prepared my cream. So I do strongly advise the cream that you're using is a commercial-based non-dairy vegan whipping cream. So I like to whip this until it's a soft peak. And then just set that aside. You want it to be room temperature. You don't want it to be cold because we are utilizing some agar and we don't want that to set up quickly. Okay? So we have our potato protein, additional stability, and it's also going to help the texture of our cake as well. So it's going to make it better for putting it in the fridge and out of the fridge. Oh, we've got some people watching. Hello. Hi, Christine. So I'm just mixing those two together just to kind of disperse the powders. And as we mentioned, the Potato Protein Pro is instant. It's lower cost than eggs, completely vegan and allergy free. So I have my sugar here. You want to use a caster sugar, or I like just to put my granulated sugar in a food processor to get it nice and fine. And I'm just going to add about 1/3 of my sugar to my other powders. And again, just mix that up. We want to disperse all of that, okay? And this will make it easier so you don't have big clumps of xanthan gum in your mix. Okay, I have my bowl of water here, guys. And we just want to sprinkle our powders inside. Okay, so now I'm just using a hand blender because it's such a small quantity. So we're going to just start on low and just start mixing everything until it's dispersed. So with this cake, we can talk a little bit about the flavors while we're waiting to mix this up. So we are using mango and sesame and chocolate. So these are flavor pairings that work really fantastic together. And it has a bit of an Asian influence as well. And I really love those flavors together. It's so yummy. And it's surprisingly light. It does sound decadent, but it is surprisingly light. So I've just mixed that for about a minute, 30 seconds a minute. And at this stage, we're going to add a little tiny pinch of our, this is just bicarb soda. So I'm putting a little pinch of bicarb soda there in my bowl. And we're going to continue whisking this until it starts getting nice and foamy. And it's going to start going like meringue. So I don't know if you guys can see, it's getting a little foamy here. Alright. And I've got it on about a medium speed, guys. And we're going to keep going. Starting to get some froth now. Alright, so once it starts to get really nice and foamy, we're going to start adding a little bit more of that sugar. About a teaspoon or so at a time. And we want to continue mixing it. It's starting to get nice and foamy now. Add a bit more sugar. So it's just like eggs. It might take a little bit longer for you to initially whip up, especially if you're doing this just a single cake. But don't worry, it will foam up for you. Alright, a little more sugar. And we're looking for a nice stiff peak. I already prepared my mango mixture, which is here in my saucepan. So in here I have my mango puree along with a little bit of sugar. And we basically want to cook this until it starts to simmer. And then we want to simmer it for a full minute. And then let it set aside for just a few minutes just to cool down slightly. Look at our meringue, guys. It's getting nice and thick. So we're almost there with the meringue. And this is what you would call a French meringue, so it's just like a cold meringue. And I'm happy with that. That looks nice and thick. I'll just show you guys how thick it is. So, look at that. Whoop. You see? There we go, on the blue. So nice stiff peaks. I'm gonna pop that aside. Have a look at our mango over here. Wow, yes it is. Wow, isn't it, Fubu? Okay, so this is starting to simmer now. I'm just gonna turn it up slightly. And we're using some in-season mangoes here. They are in season here in Spain right now. But you can actually do this recipe, so if you're in other parts of the world and say strawberries or raspberries are in season, go for that. You could use banana. Those would all work really nicely with these flavors as well. So we're just bringing this to a simmer, guys. It's just started simmering, so we want to simmer this for about 1 minute. And then we're going to set that aside. But while we are waiting for that, why not? Let's get started. We're going to get started on making our crunchy element. This is going on top of our cake. And so how we do that is we actually have to make a kind of like a, we need to heat sugar up until it comes to 130 degrees Celsius. And then we're going to be adding some chocolate and some toasted sesame seeds. And it's amazing what happens. It turns into this crunchy soil type consistency. All right. So we are going to, I've got over here, move you guys over here. So on my 132 grams of sugar, and we have a little bit of water as well. So we're just going to be heating that up, and we need to bring it to 130 degrees Celsius. Hey Steph, do you have a thermometer? I'm going to get Steph to get me a thermometer. She was just doing a cheese course just before. All right, so our mango's been cooking for about one minute. I'm going to get the last little, yep, so we're going to switch that off while we make our crunchy sesame. Okay. So I've just put my thermometer in there so I know what the temperature is. But in my bowl here, I have a little bit of chocolate, and I'm just using some chocolate buttons. And then I also have some sesame seeds. I'm using white and the black ones, but you can just use whichever ones that you like. It's totally up to you. So we're at 105. Tell me, anyone online made a vegan mousse cake before or vegan meringue? And what did you use? Oh, this smells so good. So throughout this series, guys, we're going to be showing you lots of different things, how to veganize with all of our different egg replacers here at Vegan Gastronomy. We are using today the Potato Protein Pro, which is our vegan egg white solution. And what's different about it between this one and then Potato Protein 300, it's cheaper, it's faster to use, there's no special preparation.
What are the ingredients?
It's only one ingredient, guys, it's potatoes. Pretty cool, huh? And the other ingredient that we're using today is the panis egg. So that's our whole egg replacer. And we use that for a lot of our cake recipes here at Vegan Gastronomy. And for you, from their family, from their mother, their grandmother. So really cool. Oh, we're almost at 1:30, guys. So we're at 1:30. Now we want to switch that off. And this is the fun part. We add our chocolate and our sesame seeds. And we get in there. And we start stirring. And what happens is it starts turning into this kind of like soil-like texture. It's pretty crazy. So I'll bring you guys over here a bit more so you can see. Got some big chunks in here I'm just breaking up. I like some big chunks, but I don't want too many. But look at that. So, and then you want to wait until this cools, and it's going to go super, super crunchy. And you have like this bite of kind of like candy and chocolate and sesame. So there you go. I'm going to pop that aside. We're going to cool. This is our garnish for the top of our cake, guys. So I'm just going to pop this down so it cools while we can finish off our mousse. Okay. So bring you guys over here. Our mousse. So now what we're going to do, it's been sitting there for a few minutes, just cooling down ever so slightly. We are using agar, which is our vegan gelatin replacement. And you can get agar everywhere. I'm just going to blend this just to make sure there's no lumps or it hasn't started setting anywhere. Okay. Now we're going to get some of we have our meringue here, guys. I'm going to use about 1/3 of our meringue, so just a couple of spoonsful. Not very much at this stage. So we're using this to sort of cool down our mango mixture, and I'm just going to blend this together as well. So this is going to be very different to what you're used to, making a traditional until it's nice and smooth. And we have no little flecks in there anymore. So we're almost there. Hey man, could I trouble you for a spatula? A bigger one? So we're going to start folding in our meringue very shortly. There's none here, there'll be one. Man's just getting in his spatula. Alright, so that's nice and smooth now. And that little bit of meringue just helps cool it down a little bit more too. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start folding through our meringue. Okay. Wonderful. So you want like a nice large spatula. So I want to put in just a little bit of my mango. We're going to start folding this together. With our mousse. Put it all together. folding, folding, folding. And if you're working in winter time, you do want to make sure that this mixture is always kept nice and warm. So as soon as that's mixed through, we want to put some of this into our cream and start folding that through. Okay. And we just keep going until we get a lovely velvety mousse. If it does start getting a little bit too cold, you can always pop it back onto your saucepan, which has still got a little bit of residual heat, and that will keep your mousse nice and warm. Now, it is really important that you use a commercial grade non-dairy whipping cream, and that will allow you to actually use it at a higher temperature as well. So don't use coconut cream. So I'm going to get our cake, Don't use coconut cream, guys. Alright, so I have had, you can use like a ring mold, but I wanted to show you guys how you can just use one of these springform pans. And I've just put some acetate inside, which I've just stuck. And I like to keep it nice and cold, so it's going to allow that mousse cake to set instantly as we pop it in. Okay, so I'm going to use my scale here so I know exactly how much is on each layer. Okay, so we've already prepared a cake ahead of time. But I wanted to show you, the top part was just like the excess, and I wanted to show you the texture of it, because this was using our panache. But look at this texture, like how soft and fluffy it is. And that's completely gluten-free, guys, and vegan. So I prepared the cake. We already showed you how to do that. So I've cut them into two 1 centimeter layers. So we want to start off with just putting a little bit of that mousse down the bottom just to help it stick. Now, if for any reason your cake layers break, don't worry, because you can always pop them back together. So that's a nice layer there. So as you can see. Okay, so we're going to put in our first layer. So in the first layer we need 325 grams of our mousse. Okay, so we're going to pour that straight over the top. So we've got 225. And we want to get it all in the corners there. And then you can use your offset spatula and just kind of give it a smooth it out a bit. Now you don't have to be too perfect at this stage, because we're going to be putting another layer of our cake. Okay, so that looks good to me. Alright, so then we're going to add this is our second piece of cake. And we're going to add that nice and carefully on top. And just press that down a little bit so it's sticking to our mousse. And you probably notice like I'm always stirring the mousse, because I don't want it to set. Because the agar-agar will set at 25 degrees Celsius. Okay. We don't want to waste any of that mousse. If you wanted to, you could even put like little bits of diced mango in like above the first layer of chocolate cake if you wanted to. That's totally optional. But you would have to consume that cake quite quickly because we don't want that mango to go bad. So as long as you're eating it in a couple of days, that's fine. Otherwise, this cake will last about a week in the refrigerator. So we're just trying to level it out a little bit. It doesn't have to be super perfect because we are going to be doing a mousse, a chocolate mousse or a chocolate chantilly on the top. All right, so we are done. That's it, guys. This goes into the refrigerator until it's set. And then after that, you want to put a chocolate chantilly cream. I'm not going to show you how to make that. It's super easy. It's just the whipped cream with some melted chocolate and a little bit of bread. So let's get this going in the fridge. One that I prepared earlier. You make it look so easy. Oh, thank you. Oh, that's my mom. On the Father's Day list. Oh, that's a good idea. All right, so this one I actually use like a professional ring mold, and I do really love these ring molds because you can adjust the size. So we're just going to take that off. We're going to do the reveal. And I'm just going to clean up a little bit on the side here. If you do get a little bit of mousse coming out, it's no big deal. Just want to tidy it up slightly. There we go. Now I've already put, see, on top of mine, I already have that crumb, see? That's our same crumb. The one that we just did is this one here. I can feel this one's still too warm, so I'm not going to use it, but you can see it's already on top, and we can put that on the next one. So I'm going to open this up. And if you can't get the acetate, you can just use, like if you've got like a thick plastic bag, like a clear one, or like a Ziploc bag, you can cut that and just put that around the edge, and that will do the same thing. All right. Let's take a look at this baby. Ooh. Look at that, guys. You can even put like some little mint on top or serve it with some mango. So, we are going to get... Oh, Phoebe's clapping. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to cut into this so we can have a look at those beautiful layers. And as we mentioned, this is a gluten-free cake, completely vegan, using both our panis egg for our egg, a whole egg, and then we use the potato protein pro for the meringue. Alright, so I'm just using some nice warm water here. So this cake is super low cost. I think this would make a great cake for a birthday or, as we were mentioning, Father's Day. If you're cutting it into 12 slices. Wow. I'm going to get my little knife here, so we can get the perfect slice. Ooh. So guys, take a look at the layers. Look at that. Who would have thought you could make a beautiful mousse cake? Yeah, 41 cents a euro slice. Look at that. All those beautiful layers. We have our chocolate, our gluten-free chocolate cake. We have our mango mousse layer and our crunchy chocolate sesame layer. So please give this a try at home, guys. If you want to purchase any of our products for your food service business, your cafe, restaurant, or whatever you're doing at home, I will put the, you have all of the recipe links below, and I will put some more links in there where to find our products for our egg replacers. And also, if you would like to learn more about making vegan cakes, come join us here in the online vegan gastronomy kitchen, or you can come, so we have our baking courses and our pastry courses. Oh, I've got a taste tester, very eager.
That's hard. I love to sneak in just at the end. I wait around and this. It's so nice. And well, first of all, the colors are delicious. Lovely.
And see, it's staying together nice too, but it's not too firm. What do you think, Steph? Or do you think it's gluten-free or vegan?
No, never. I would absolutely assume there's gluten in the chocolate cake.
Really?
100%.
It's a nice moist one, right?
Super moist, and it's not too heavy. I think it is fantastic for the summer.
Summer, yeah.
Yeah,
Man always needs to take the biggest piece.
get it in your mouth. I want another one.
Yeah. How's that, guys?
So good. I love the soil, and the sesame is really nice. And it's nice and light.
The soil, actually, I must admit, I actually put it on my oatmeal sometimes for breakfast. For the weekends, like weekend treats. It's so good on ice cream too. But
How
it
long will
comes
this
with-
last in the fridge?
So about 1 week in the refrigerator. So you can prepare these ahead of time, and you can keep them in the fridge for up to a week.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and super low cost, as we mentioned before, this entire cake costs about €5 to make.
It's nothing.
So the thing is, you want to make sure that you're using in-season mangoes. If you can't get in-season mangoes, we're just reconnecting.
I
So
it
like
too because
raspberry or something like that.
when you cut into it, it doesn't fall. It's easy to get in your mouth.
Yeah.
You know,
That-
sometimes like puff pastries and things like that, crack. and
Crackly.
They fall all over. This was easily stayed on my fork, and that means I get more in my mouth.
Nice. I do find a lot of those gluten-free cakes tend to be a little crumbly too.
Not that
Oh, all the chocolate lovers, that's right. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. So I'll just show you, cut into there. I hope you enjoyed this video, this mango mousse cake. I will leave all the extra information in the description box below. And please leave in the comment section if you have any comments about this video. Please like and subscribe, and catch me next week on Wednesday at 10 a.m. for our next cafe series video. I'll catch you later. Bye.